Welcome back to Temporal Directive, the Star Trek fan podcast rewatching the entire franchise in chronological order. I'm Gary.
And I'm Tom.
And this week we're watching Star Trek Enterprise's The Breach. Star Trek, the ultimate franchise. These are the podcasts of the Wakefield brothers. Their 16-year mission to watch every production, to seek out life lessons and new inspirations, to boldly watch like most fans have watched before. How are you feeling, Tom? Are you feeling all better?
Not really, no.
Oh, good. If you make me sick, I will get so angry.
I am pretty sure I'm past the infectious stage, but we'll see how we go.
Oh, please.
But it hasn't been a fun one, that's for sure. I'm doing much better. Like, I can function quite well, but I still just got all blocked up and, bit of a cough every now and then and all that fun stuff that goes along with it. But
oh joy.
Yeah, it's great. And everyone at work's got it because, again, I work in a place where we're all very close.
Yeah.
So
fun.
Yeah. So I've been working as well the last week, like, because everyone's been off. So I've been like, well, I can function just. So
I hope you've been masked up so the customers aren't getting sick.
Yeah, I was for the first couple of days.
Oh well.
But it is what you do, isn't it?
Got to get that money.
That's it. Exactly.
Got to make that green.
Bought a new car, get sick. I have to make money.
Yeah, that's right. Slack.
That's it.
Well, I went and saw the new Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Better than the last ones?
Yeah, I would say it's probably one of the better ones they've done in a while. And nice. I like the retro futuristic Jetsons look at the film.
I've always wanted them to do a proper Jetsons movie.
Well, one day. One day they might. But in the meantime, you've got Fantastic Four.
Yeah, right.
So that was good. But other than that, it's been a pretty, hard slug of a week.
Yeah.
We found out we have to move house in a few months. So we're thinking about how we're going to try to make that happen. And then my oldest dog has been sick. He's been to the vet 3 times.
Yeah,
This was just in the last week. So had some giant abscess build-up thing behind his eye that they didn't pick up until they went in to do scans.
Okay.
And she showed us the X-ray and where the probe was. They sort of put up through his jaw and stuff.
Yes.
And she said it went right up to just behind his eye. Like she said, she couldn't put it any further because it might have damaged his optic nerve. So. Yeah, it was. She said it was a huge abscess, and anyway.
Wow,
anyway,
funny animals, aren't they? Like, you just don't know. You really don't know what's going on.
Nope.
Nasty.
So he's been 3 times. Been a week.
Yeah. Jeez. Yep. You never know.
No.
Big things.
In Trek news. The Paramount Skydance merger deal has finally been approved, right, meaning that Star Trek will soon have new overlords. So it is possible that the new Skydance Paramount leadership will choose to take Star Trek in a completely different direction. Mm-hmm. Alex Kurtzman, his production company Secret Hideout, are the current head of the franchise. But his deal with CBS Television, which is owned by Paramount, is due to expire in 2026. So with the end of Discovery and Picard and Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds already being announced that it's going to wind down, Academy's only been greenlit for 2 seasons, it could be that nothing's going to happen until the new bosses come in and take a look at the bigger picture and decide what they want to do. So he could be replaced. He could be renewed. No one really knows.
Yeah, okay.
But it's all up in the air and we'll see what happens next.
And watch this space sort of thing.
Exactly.
Great.
Yeah.
Or not so great.
Or we could make him tall or we could make him not so tall.
There's about 4 people in the world that would go, I get that.
In other news, a couple of days ago, we got our first photos and a poster from Starfleet Academy with some new and returning characters, such as the Doctor.
I know. How exciting.
And what appears to be a Jem'Hadar teacher.
Yes, which is interesting.
Yes. And if you zoom in on her uniform, because it had the pattern on the front, if you zoom in on that pattern, it's not the Starfleet insignia, it's the Klingon one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, even more interesting.
Yeah. And then San Diego Comic-Con is on at the moment, so this morning we got a few updates, which is pretty exciting. This was maybe 2 or 3 hours ago before we recorded. There was a very short teaser from Strange New World Season 4 with Captain Pike as a puppet.
Muppet.
Yes, well, it is in conjunction with the Jim Henson Creature Shop. And that episode is going to be directed by Jordan Canning, who directed the Season 2 episode Charades and the recent Season 3 episode Wedding Bell Blues. But prior to working on Strange New Worlds, she was the director of all 8 episodes of Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock. So she has some experience in that field. Nice. So hopefully she will do a good job. I don't know how I feel about a puppet episode of Star Trek, but we'll see how we go.
I'm very excited.
I knew you would be.
I am absolutely over the moon.
I figured you would be.
Anything to do with Jim Henson and puppets and everything. You know, I even make puppets at home. Yeah. So, you know, I love puppets. I'm very, very excited. When they done the puppet episode in Community, I was freaking out. I love it.
An angel?
Yep, love it. I love it. Love it all. Just give me as much puppet episodes as you can. Make a whole series of Star Trek with puppets.
No, that's okay. There was also some updates on the Star Trek Khan podcast drama. George Takei is reprising his role as Captain Sulu.
Ooh.
And will be joined by Tim Russ, who is returning as Ensign Tuvok, both on the USS Excelsior.
Well, there you go.
So there's a time period.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Not that I listened to it, but it's interesting.
And it will drop on September 8th, which is the 59th anniversary of Star Trek this year.
Awesome.
They also dropped a trailer for Starfleet Academy, something we've been waiting for a while. And I'm got to say, it looks much more impressive than I was expecting.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It looks really good. It looks really, really good.
Yeah. A fuck ton of Easter eggs in there.
Yeah.
The James T. Kirk Pavilion.
Yeah, the Cisco.
The Cisco was mentioned. What happened to the emissary of the prophets.
Yeah.
There was a memorial wall behind a bunch of the new cadets.
Yep. And
if you look at the names on there, there's a lot of names from the 24th century era. There's Beverly Crusher and Admiral Harry Kim.
Yeah.
He got promoted.
Finally got promoted.
and a bunch of others. But I'll be interested to see what that wall is a memorial of, because it kind of looks like it's mostly characters from that era. And I'm like, why are those
it just those
people?
Specific people?
Is that just a member berries wall? Like,
hey, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, there was no update on the workplace comedy Resort Planet series that they talked about last year being in development. So that hasn't been greenlit, or no more updates on that.
Which is a shame.
And I was kind of hoping that they would have like a surprise announcement or something to do with the 60th anniversary next year, being such a big milestone. But I guess with all the uncertainty of the franchise in the future, they're not going to greenlight anything at the moment. So I would have really loved to see like another season of short treks for the 60th. They could have done that at any time period. Yeah. They could have got any characters.
True.
and just done like these little short 10-minute character pieces.
Which would have been really nice.
Would have been good.
Yeah. And we might get that.
It'd be nice to have something.
They might have been doing that. Who
Maybe.
knows? Still got time.
Not much. Not much if they want to produce something before the 60th.
Could be doing it in the background. You never know.
It's true. It's true. And that's it for Star Trek news.
Yeah, which is a lot more than we usually get.
Much more. So let's get into this week's episode, shall we?
Alrighty.
This week's episode is called The Breach, story by Daniel McCarthy, teleplay by Chris Black and John Shaban, who started his career on The X-Files and after Enterprise went on to work on some pretty cool stuff, including the exceptional Breaking Bad. He wrote 4 episodes on Breaking Bad.
Nice.
This episode is also directed by Tom Paris, Robert Duncan McNeil. This is his second of 4 Enterprise directing jobs. And the original air date for this episode is April 23rd, 2003. The IMDb synopsis is actually a very long one.
Wow.
It's not even sarcastic this time.
Wow.
Okay.
I could get the dramatic voice.
I got to get ready. At Dr. Phlox's request, Enterprise attempts to retrieve 3 Denobulan scientists from the planet Xantoras, where the government has ordered all off-worlders to evacuate within 3 days. Tucker, Reed, and Mayweather navigate a series of labyrinthine underground caves in search of the scientists. Meanwhile, Enterprise lends assistance to a damaged ship fleeing the planet. Dr. Phlox faces an ethical dilemma when one of the refugees of the ship refuses life-saving treatment. The patient, an Antaran, holds a grudge against Phlox stemming from a war between their races that ended 300 years ago and would rather die than be treated by a Denobulan. Phlox defies Archer's direct order to force treatment because it goes against the Denobulan code to yield to the will of the patient. I think that was basically our talk through.
That's it. We're done. That's the whole episode.
I don't have any trivia or anything, so let's go watch it.
All right.
And we're back from watching The Breach. Well, Tom, it's another Enterprise episode. What did you think?
Yeah. No, it was all
Overwhelmingly positive, clearly.
Yeah, sure. It was all right. It wasn't as bad as some. The Phlox parts were really good.
He really nails
He does.
his role, doesn't he?
He really
He's so
does.
good.
He's excellent. He just knows who he is in that role, and he just does it so well. Like, you believe what he's going through. Like, he's fantastic. Even Archer's good in this, like with his pressure, like, you know, being sort of trying to get him to do the right thing in a way. Like, I think that was all great. The going through the caves and shit seemed pointless and ridiculous. And even the little fight that they had with the people in the caves, like
The Denobulans.
yeah, that just seemed like expected and stupid. Like, it annoyed me more than anything.
Fair. Fair. Yeah. I think they could have done less cave time.
Yeah,
And more with the Phlox, Antaran
exactly.
history.
Yeah,
And even if they didn't add more with Phlox and that patient,
yeah,
Phlox exploring that history with someone or having longer debates or discussions with T'Pol or Archer or something
exactly.
to flesh that out a little bit more.
And give us more detail
More
in that.
context about what that was, because
Yeah.
it sounds like the Denobulans were the aggressors there.
Exactly.
So what
Why?
changed
How?
and how is that different now? Like,
Yeah. What did they learn from that? What
Yeah.
what actually happened in that situation? But we didn't get any of that.
no.
But we did get caves and great,
And a broken ankle
and that's it, and a broken ankle and
and some rock samples.
that's it. In some Tupperware. Woo!
Yay. Good to know Tupperware's still around.
That's it, exactly. It's like,
I don't know why they don't pack a lunch. and our first tribble.
Yes.
It's our first triple in chronological order.
Yeah, which is pretty unreal.
Yeah.
And it was... It got eaten.
Yes, it was a snack.
It was a snack. I'm surprised there
For
wasn't...
some ferns.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't more tribbles around if there's one.
There might have been. There probably was.
But yeah, first triple. It was a small one. It was pretty cool though. I like triples.
Yeah. Everyone likes tribbles.
Yeah, how can you not?
Wait, didn't Dad say when he was on here that he didn't like the tribbles?
I don't know. Possibly. Probably
Crazy.
just little fur
Craziness. Everyone should like the tribbles. All right, let's get into the episode, shall we?
All right.
We open on sick bay and we get the tribble scene.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah. First.
Speaking of tribbles.
Yeah.
Hoshi comes in and Phlox picks up a tribble and they talk about what it is, and then they walk over to another cage and he feeds the tribble to something we don't see.
Yeah, and Hoshi's face
But
is
Hoshi
like,
jumps back like,
holy shit.
fuck. But she says that she came in because there was a transmission from the Denobulan Science Academy marked urgent. Then we cut to the situation room at the back of the bridge and everyone's gathered to talk about the mission ahead, that a bunch of Denobulan scientists were collecting rock samples, and as it said in the IMDb synopsis, which was very thorough, the planet's government has been unstable and the new militant faction that has taken over has ordered all off-worlders off-world.
Such a good sentence.
So articulate today.
You're on the ball.
But the Denobulans are too far away to meet the deadline, so they've asked Enterprise to go and get them.
It's funny how Enterprise always just happens to be nearby the situations that are going on, isn't it?
It's called convenience. Not bad for the one ship, the one Earth ship.
The
that just
singular
happens to be
Earth
around.
ship.
So they decide that Travis, who has some rock climbing experience, will basically lead the team to go and rescue these Denobulans in their 50 kilometers of caves.
And isn't it exciting?
So exciting. Phlox thanks the captain for taking on the mission. Archer says that he's happy to help, and then we skip the opening credits because that song sucks.
Yeah.
We come back and they're in the launch bay loading up for the mission. They're making sure they've got all their cables and bags to shit in. Well, it is. That's what they say. That we take everything out.
It's funny. Like just before I come here yesterday or whenever I watched.
No, you shit in a bag.
Yeah, I really needed to go. No, I was watching there's this thing on Netflix.
The poop cruise?
Yeah, the poop cruise thing. I was watching that and everyone was complaining about having to poop in bags.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what else are you going to fucking do? Like, there's no toilets working. If you need to poop in a bag, you poop in a bag.
Just squat over the rail.
Well, that's it. Or that and fall off and die. But like it's not the end of the world, right? Like, and then I saw this, and I was like, that's straight where my brain went. Like, well, I mean, they're not complaining.
Thanks, Netflix, for giving us those sorts of images. Right. Archer, before they head off, Archer reminds the away team that they only have 3 days, so they have a day and a half to find them and a day and a half to get back, and if they haven't found them, get out anyway. We get a shot of the shuttle pod heading down to the planet, and we see other ships leaving the planet.
Yeah.
We cut to the bridge, and one of the transports that was leaving the planet has declared an emergency. They've had some engine issues with the reactor casings, and the people on the planet have denied their request to turn around and land for assistance. So Archer opens a channel and sets a course to go and save them.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Got to be a Boy Scout.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a Starfleet captain, you have to be a Boy Scout.
Gonna make everybody else's problem yours.
That's right. We get an external shot of Enterprise docked with the alien ship that they were saving. And then we cut to sickbay, and there's a bunch of different aliens that are getting treatment.
Rushing around everywhere.
Yep. And a crewman comes in with a stretcher and someone else injured. Phlox kind of stares at this dude and is like in shock. And the crewman says that this guy was working near the reactor when it ruptured, but Phlox doesn't respond. He just sort of stares. And the crewman's like, "Yo, Doc, what up?"
Where you going?
And Phlox says, "Get him into the imaging chamber," and then just sort of stares there for a second.
Yeah.
Then we cut down to the planet and we get the three boys heading into the cave system.
The three wise men.
Yeah, wise. Yep, that's the word I would use. So it's Troop, Travis, and Reed. They say that this is the nearest entrance to the cave system from the campsite, so they're just betting that this is the way that they went.
Which they do throughout the entire thing.
Correct.
If
they
I
make
was
assumptions.
them, I'd go this way. If I was them, I'd go this way. Even though I'm a completely different species and not a geologist, I'd go this way.
Correct. Yeah. So they walk through, they make some jokes about the last cave they were in, had a gift shop and shit. Then they find a huge drop that just is like a sheer cliff face. So they secure their ropes and harness up and get ready to go.
They have a lot of rope.
They do.
A lot.
They do. We cut back to sickbay. Archer comes in and asks how things are going, and Phlox says that two people are doing well. This person's injuries were more extensive, and this one's going to need intracellular regeneration. And that's the one that Phlox has been staring at.
Yeah.
Archer asks what his chances are. Phlox says it's complex, but the odds are probably in his favor. Then the guy wakes up and asks where he is. And Archer says, "You're on my ship, Enterprise. I'm Captain Archer." He asks what happened. Then he sees Phlox and goes, "What's he doing here?" Archer says he's our doctor, and the guy says, "Keep him away from me. I would rather die than be treated by him."
Yeah.
Archer looks very confused.
Very dramatic music.
And we cut to a black for a commercial.
Yeah.
We cut to the corridor outside sickbay. Phlox and Archer are having a discussion about why that guy didn't want to be treated by Phlox. And Phlox says that the two species have a complicated history. Yeah, he says that there was a war, but it's been 300 years since their last conflict, and that there have been particularly bitter disputes, and that he doubts that this guy is going to allow him to treat him.
Yeah.
Archer says you could always sedate him and perform the treatment.
Yeah, just do it. You're a doctor.
Yeah. But Phlox says, I have to respect his wishes. The will of the patient is the cornerstone of Denobulan medical ethics. And Archer says, don't you believe if you can help someone, you're ethically bound to do so? And he says, Hippocrates wasn't Denobulan. But Archer insists, like, this is an Earthship, Doctor. I won't let any man die in sickbay that can be prevented. I'm giving you an order.
Yeah.
And Phlox says, I'm sorry, Captain, but I can't follow it.
But I'm pretty sure we have the same...
In the brig, bastard. Get in the brig. Disobey my orders.
Don't we have the same... Pretty sure, like, humans have the same code, right? If you deny treatment, you don't get treatment.
I assume so.
So, like, what's the issue? Because Archer should just be like, well, that's what it is. If you don't want it, you don't get it. Fine. Off you pop.
I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I've wanted to refuse treatment, because usually if I'm in a hospital or seeing a doctor, I want someone to do something.
You're like, fucking help me.
We cut to the caves and the boys are abseiling down the wall.
And he stops
they get to a ledge. No, they get to a ledge. They're taking a break for just a second because they've been abseiling for a bit. And Reed spots a Tupperware box in the wall. They open it up and it's rocks. And Travis heads off to keep looking, see what's going further down, while Trip and Reed look at the rocks in the box. And then they put the box back, and then they prepare to follow Travis. This is riveting stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's great TV.
Really exciting television.
I don't know why it got cancelled before all the other seasons. The series went for 7 years.
Ouch. We cut to sick bay. Archer is talking to the Antaran, whose name is Hudak.
Who's a duck?
I'm just going to call him Donald.
I love it.
So Archer and Donnie are talking. Archer tells him that the ship was damaged by a reactor leak. It'll be a few days before you can return to your ship, and you need treatment. And he says that he would prefer to be treated by another physician. Archer tells him that he won't survive if he doesn't get the treatment from Phlox.
He doesn't say, that's okay, we'll get our nurse or our other doctor to come in and do that for you.
What other doctor?
Oh. So if Phlox dies or gets injured himself, they don't have anyone else?
Correct.
And he doesn't have a nurse to help him or assist him?
Never seen one.
Well, that sounds like a flaw.
Yep.
Moving on. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I assume that most of the staff can probably do first aid.
Yeah.
But maybe not
cellular regeneration.
Operations.
Fair enough.
They talk for a little bit, and the Antaran guy is saying that he's the first Antaran to even see a Denobulan in 6 generations, and that if Archer spent a few hours in their historical archives, he might change his mind about what he thinks about Denobulans. And Archer says, I prefer to make my judgments based on first-hand experiences. I respect your history and the sacrifice your people made, not that we know what they were, but I can tell you that the Denobulans you're describing are not the people I've met. Don't sacrifice your life based on preconceptions. We cut to Phlox's office. Archer and Phlox are again discussing the Antaran Denobulan history.
Ooh.
And Phlox reiterates that he's also the first Antaran that he's ever met. And maybe after 300 years, there's an opportunity here for them to talk to each other and prove each other wrong, prove the preconceptions on both sides wrong. Phlox says that from childhood, every Antaran is taught that Denobulans are enemies and need to be feared. Archer tells him to set aside his preconceptions. Phlox says, do you believe I can earn his trust in less than 36 hours? Which is how much time he's got left before he drops dead.
Yeah.
And Archer says, all I'm asking is that you try. Your ethics might keep you from treating him against his will, but nothing's stopping you from talking to him. You're a doctor. He's your patient. Find a way to help. And then he walks out.
Yeah. He was quite sort of angry. In a good way. He actually done this quite well.
Because he's sort of stuck. He's already given him an order to do the treatment.
That's right.
And he's refusing to do it. So he's just kind of pleading at this point.
Yeah. I quite liked Archer in this. It was good.
We cut to the caves, and the rock climbers have reached another ledge or area where they can stop, and they have to decide which way to go. And Reed shines a light at some pretty crystals and says, if I was a geologist, I'd go that way. So off they go.
Sure.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So they keep going, and they find another ledge and another drop that looks eerily similar to the previous one.
Funny that.
And they start like scooting across it.
Yeah, sliding down, going, well, shit.
Yeah, and then they slip and they fall because they're all connected on the safety rope thingies. And they fall, and then Travis like puts his foot up to try to stop them because he's at the back, and his foot goes up against the wall, and I'm sure you didn't hear it, but in my mind I probably heard it crack.
Yeah.
And the other two are dangling over the edge while he's holding the rope, bracing with his broken ankle.
Yep.
They're hanging off the ledge and they're swinging, trying to
put a brace in the wall.
Trying to put in an anchor.
Anchor, that's the one.
Yep. So eventually they do that. Then it sort of fades to a little bit later and the boys have gone back up to Travis.
Yeah.
Checking to see if he has broken his ankle, and he has. He's torn a couple of ligaments as well. Trip gives him a hypo spray and tells him that he's not going anywhere because he'll slow them down. And then we cut back to sickbay.
Yeah.
Phlox is with the Antaran, Donnie. And he asks Phlox what he's doing. They talk kind of sarcastically at each other for a little bit. Well, the Antaran's sort of sarcastic.
Yeah, Phlox is actually trying to be nice.
Yeah, he's saying, I'm checking your biosigns. Oh, very diligent of you. What a dedicated healer you must be.
Yeah. Must be a great doctor.
But Phlox is trying to
actually
reach out and connect with this guy, like trying to start some conversations. What brought you here? You haven't answered my question. Tell me. I enjoy a good challenge.
He was good, though, pushing his buttons.
It was a good scene, the two of them. I think they held their position pretty well.
Yeah.
The Antaran asks Phlox if he was raised listening to stories about their people, the evil Antarians, and if they gave him nightmares. And Phlox says, I could ask you the same question about my people. Did you tell those stories to your children? Did you teach them to hate Antarans like you were taught? And Phlox is starting to get emotional.
Yeah, he's like, stop it.
My children have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Don't they? If they were here right now, what would they think about their father talking to an Antaran? Enough! Would you even let them in the same room with me? Phlox snaps a little bit and says, I've tried to treat you with respect, but I refuse to listen to these insults. You're the reason we haven't been able to put the past behind us. You have kept this hatred alive. No Denobulan would want to be in the same room with you. And storms out.
Yeah. Yep. And that's just because he was being an ass, not because of what species he was.
No, it was because he was purposely pushing buttons to get a reaction from Phlox. We get an external shot of Enterprise in orbit with the alien ship still attached. And then we cut into the mess hall. And Phlox is sitting there with a plate of food, but not really eating. He's just sort of sitting there. And T'Pol comes over and asks if she can join him. And he says, actually, I'm not in the mood for company sub-commander. And she goes to walk off. And he's, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sit down. She doesn't give a shit because she's not going to get offended. She's a Vulcan. She's like, if you wish to be alone.
Yeah, I'm happy.
No, sit down, please. They talk about the repairs on the alien ship, and then she asks how the patient is doing. He says that he's dying, but that seems to be his wish. And he says that he's had patients that have refused treatment before, but usually only in the final stages of a serious illness. But this man seems determined to die just to prove a point. He tells a story about how he wanted to visit a planet when he was young, and his grandmother wouldn't let him go, or told him he wasn't allowed to go, because Antarans had once lived there. Even though they hadn't lived there for a long time, she believed that the place had been tainted, spoiled by their presence. And so he was never allowed to go when he was young, but he took his children there because he didn't want them to grow up with the same preconceptions that he was forced to listen to.
Yeah.
He wanted to teach them to embrace other cultures. He looks like he's about to cry, and T'Pol asks if he's okay, and he says thanks for your company and leaves.
Yep.
It was a good scene.
He's such a good actor, isn't he?
He's a really good actor.
Like, what is he doing on this show?
Fucking hell, Tom. You're allowed to give the show some credit.
Oh. Yeah, him.
Jesus. We cut back to the caves, and now it's just Trip and Reed.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
Yeah. Crawling through caves.
Yes, they're crawling through a narrow passage.
It's just crazy. It's just like, I don't even know why we're watching them go through the caves like this.
I don't know. But we are, and they pick up bio signs. They come out into a big cave area. There's artificial lights and scientific equipment, and then they find the Denobulans. There's 3 of them. Tucker introduces himself and
tells them
tells
of the
them
situation.
Yep.
And then forces his will upon them aggressively.
Yep.
And says, you will be coming with me because I've spent a day and a half crawling through caves. I've got a guy who's injured, which means if I have to beat the shit out of you and drag you out of this cave myself, I will fucking do it. Is essentially what he says.
That's pretty much what he says, yeah.
So, you know, forcing them to just, you know, bend to his will. So, you know, very nice. Very good. And so they start packing up.
Yep. Well, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing else said other than they're trying to just stay and do their jobs that they want to do, despite the people going to come in and rip them out anyway. Like, wouldn't you just leave them? You should just leave them. It's not up to you to fucking look after them. If they want to stay and risk it, let them stay and risk it.
Exactly.
You know?
I agree.
It makes no difference to you. You've come, you've given them the message. Go.
Yep. We cut to sickbay, and Phlox starts a scan on the Antaran. He says that he would rather spend his last few days alone, and Phlox says that your last few days won't be for about another 60 years. Once the intracellular regeneration is complete, you should be able to, and then he cuts him off and says, I refused your treatment. But Phlox is going to do it anyway. And then they have a moment where he sort of tells the story about his grandmother basically being a racist.
Yeah.
Because she lived through the last war and that she had these horror stories about what the Antarans did. He continues and says that he does have children, 5 children, and that he never told them his grandmother's stories because he wanted his kids to learn to judge people for who they really are, not what the propaganda tells them. And that he's very proud to say that his children would consider his grandmother's attitude archaic, except for one of the children, who is the youngest, Metis, who was seduced by the dark side.
Yes.
But he says that that
caused a rift between them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that they hadn't spoken in maybe 10 years. He says that he always tried to be an example for his children and asks the Antaran guy to do the same. Why not live? Choose to live and set an example for yours. Again, another great scene with Dr. Phlox.
It's awesome.
We go back to the caves, where it's not such a great scene.
Yeah.
They're all crawling back, including the 3 Denobulan scientists, and the one in the lead, one of the scientists who's up front, finds another Tupperware container full of rock samples and stops, but then the caves start to shake, like there's a tremor or something. So they're yelling at each other to keep moving, and he's like, no, I've got rocks.
Yeah,
I've got rocks in my Tupperware I need to take.
Yeah, so important.
They get out of that area and they're at the bottom of a big rock face, big cliff, whatever.
Yeah.
And they start gearing up, and the Denobulans say they don't have any climbing gear.
Yeah.
So they're just free climb. Which is good because they've still got heaps of fucking rocks and shit that they're carrying. They start off, and then we cut back to the bridge on the Enterprise.
Archer's going off at the people who
at the governor of the planet. Yep. Saying, we still have time. Why are you firing at our people? He's like, I'm not. There's other government people down there from the last government. That's who we're shooting at, not your people.
Yeah. Your people just happen to be
in
right
the way.
There, yeah. Whoops. Which is pretty much the whole conversation.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Archer.
They threaten to shoot each other.
Yeah, threatens
Do you really want to go to war with us? No. Do you really want to go to war with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Exciting. We just cut back to the caves. There's just a moment where the bombing seems to have stopped. Like there's no tremors anymore. They just say that they need to get out of here before it starts again. Then we cut back to sickbay. The Antaran calls Phlox in basically to say that I've thought about what you said. I thought about my children. I've decided to accept your treatment. We cut back to the caves. They've caught up with Travis, who's now holding some of the rock sample boxes. And the Denobulans seem very excited that he's holding the samples.
Yeah.
But Trip's like, forget about them. And then we cut back to the bridge. And Archer's telling them to hurry the fuck up. Trip calls and says that we're cutting it pretty close. The deadline passed 2 hours ago. So we're out of time. Trip says that they've got all the Denobulans and then they head off. Except there's a patrol ship coming after them as well. The patrol ship fires at them, shakes a little bit, but there's minimal damage. They're only using low power particle beams. That's it.
Yeah.
Then we cut to sickbay. And Archer asks how the patient is doing, and Phlox says that he'll be a bit groggy but when he comes out of the anesthesia, but the procedure was successful, so he'll be fine. And then we cut to the corridor, clearly a little bit later, because the guy's up and walking with Archer. Archer says that Dr. Phlox wanted to see him off, but he's busy treating some other crewmen who had some injuries. He tells the Antaran that the Denobulan geologists would like to get a ride home on the same transport and asks if that's going to be a problem. And he says, have they been informed that I'll be travelling with them? And Archer says, I did talk to them. And he asks what their response was. And he says, they're willing, if you are. He just nods. Archer opens the door and he goes in. Then we get an external shot of the Enterprise detaching from the alien ship and they warp off in separate directions. And we cut to sickbay. It's just Phlox. It's dark. He asks the computer to start a recording and he starts to write a letter to his youngest son, who he hasn't spoken to in 10 years, saying that he's had an experience that has opened up some old wounds and it's changed something in him, and he hopes he's willing to listen to this letter and hopes that it might change something in him. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
That is it.
Well, now that we've talked through it, Tom, what did you think?
Well, kind of the same as I thought at the start, really. The cave stuff was like shit.
Yep.
But everything else was actually very good.
The Denobulan Antaran stuff, excellent.
Was fantastic.
Yep.
Like, it was a really good story. It was really well done. It was I wish it was a bit more fleshed out. But other than that, it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have definitely liked more Denobulan Antaran history.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what's the life lesson in this one, Tom?
Get over it. Maybe not.
Okay.
That's the short answer. So, how about don't let your past define your future or your future judgments?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sort of be able to
learn from your mistakes and history.
That's right. So, sort of learn from it, don't judge from it.
I like it. Excellent. All right, IMDb rating for this one. Our examples of 1 episodes of Voyager's Threshold and Next Gen's Code of Honor. Examples of 10 episodes of Next Gen's Tapestry and Deep Space Nine's Far Beyond the Stars. What do you want to rate The Breach?
It's a hard one in my head to rate because I really want to rate half of it really low and the other half really high.
Yeah. So I think if we say, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, 50% of the episode is good, so that's a 5. But then I want to give a bonus point for Phlox.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking a 6.
A 6? Yeah.
That's my logic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense because my brain was thinking 5 because it's the midway. But you're right. It has to be more than a 5 because
Phlox is so good.
Because it's good. Yeah. So 6 is fine. Yeah. 6. Yeah.
6 it is. Cool. All right, that's it for this week then. You can find us on Facebook at Temporal Directive Podcast and Instagram, just Temporal Directive. Or you can email us at wakefield_productions@outlook.com. We would love to hear your thoughts on this episode or Star Trek in general or anything at all, really. So please get in touch. We'll be back with some special episodes of Strange New Worlds, and our next regular episode next Friday will be the episode Cogenitor. Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.